How are these
What's up, bro?
49ers best built for the playoffs?
Well, not to be cliche, but defense and run game travels.
Okay.
I think that now that Brock is running the show, we've been able to show complementary football in its truest form. Uh, we have an
Yeah.
offense that can actually
Balance.
respond. Yeah, true balance.
Yeah.
Not holding the ball, but actually
Yeah.
actually going to go score.
Yeah.
I can there's a different tenor when you have an offense that can actually go dictate. And I feel like that's what we have now. I feel like we have an offense that can actually dictate terms. I feel like we have an offense that now we're not the sum of all parts. Now we actually have a toolbox. So the tools get used, how can I say, deliberately now.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Brandon Ayuk, even he gets a lot of love for how he turned it on against Las Vegas near the end,
Yeah.
but really that was just pitch and catch. He was just getting open.
Yeah.
And that's something where, I mean, before, not to, he who shall not be named, that was hard to
Yeah.
do, you know. And
Yeah.
I feel like, football is just on the cerebral level. Every sport is cerebral, but just from a cerebral level, when you know what an offense is capable of, you can't
Yeah.
tilt. You can't, we play people play us honest now.
It's true. Like if you sell out to stop the run, if you stack the box, you're pretty much screwed. That would be the last thing I would do against the Niners right now because they're dying to play
Right.
action and go over the top. Here's why I feel like the Niners are. I'm more confident about this team than I was any other team.
Okay.
With Jimmy, people kept being like, look, Jimmy's good enough. This team can win with defense. It's the best defense ever. It's like the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. Like, so you're telling me the Niners are going to go to the Super Bowl and face some future Hall of Fame quarterback and hold him to 10, 7 points? Because that's what the 85 Bears did. That's what the
Right.
2000 Ravens did. Like, you don't think you can do that in 2023. We've talked about it. Man, all the rules are set up for the offense. There's just some crazy good quarterbacks. You got to have an offense. And now the
Right.
Niners really do. Like, if their defense doesn't have to be great anymore. It doesn't have to
No.
because the offense is. And that's great.
Well, they're not infallible. And
No.
I think that's one thing that the eyes play tricks on you because of how we play teams. We're so physical. And we're physical in a non-physical league, quite frankly. So it pops.
Yeah.
And because of that, we get in situations where when we do get slowed down and the makeup of our defense is challenged, where, let's face it, the kernel of our defense, the core of our defense is our defensive line. It's our front seven. That's what's elite from top to bottom.
Yes.
I'm not here to say that we don't have good players in our secondary, but as far as complete units are concerned, the secondary is an afterthought.
Can I talk about that real quick though? It's because
Yeah.
I feel like there's three elements of defense. There's pass rush, there's tackling, there's coverage. And coverage is the finesse one. And the Niners want to be physical. So they constantly sort of undervalue the coverage thing. They get DBs who tackle. You know what I'm
Tackle
saying?
well.
And it's
Yeah.
like when you go up against a quarterback like Russell Wilson, who freaking owned them for a decade, a guy who can evade the pass rush and test your coverage, I mean, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Well,
Or at least
okay,
they've been in trouble. Not to take you off the point.
no.
Yeah.
I actually want to stay there. So
Yeah.
if we're staying with, I don't want to. Do you want to go into Las Vegas now, or you want to stick with us in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, if it has
well,
to do with the
as far
playoffs,
as who
yeah,
we
we can
play-
talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, as far as who we play in the playoffs, it's like who we see on the NFC side. We have New York, Dallas, the Bucks, the Vikings, and the Eagles. I think that the Giants aren't as talented as us. And they only average 21 points a game, and they heavily rely on their run game, which is what we do. We stop the run.
What about Green Bay? That's the one team I'm thinking that kind of.
Well, I don't think Green Bay sees us because I think we're more slotted to see either Detroit. If we lose, we see the 6th seed, which we see Detroit, or we see the Vikings.
Okay.
And I ain't scared of anything.
I'm not a capologist. I don't understand how seeding works. I'll let other people figure it out.